Right, so here we are in the home stretch. We're on the third pass now. Now we've gone through and we've made sure that we're pretty happy with most things. We're going to do like a final little bit of tweak and polish, and mostly this is going to be fixing any kind of artifacting caused by the face refiner. It's going to be doing those kinds of things. So I'll come back to these and check them again. So first things first, excuse me. We are going to be looking at noise reduction and a few little tweaks. Now, one little tweak I mentioned earlier for this one was perhaps cooling down the shadows, although it looks as though we did that last time. We've now got a bit of cool shadow across the jacket here. We've got those wheels there are no longer orange. That's cool. So first things first, I'm going to remove all the flags. And then we can get started. So I do need to be looking at this in a fairly large window. And I think this is mostly fine. Oh, what am I doing? Give me a second, wrong key. So this is mostly fine. And we're going to take a look at noise reduction, and we are going to use shared nodes for noise reduction again, because they are the easiest way to do it. So just going to keep going. I don't want to take it higher than about 18 or so, because it starts to introduce its own issues. And then that's a little bit soft. Right, I'm just going to set that up to render. I'll set that up to cache even. And we'll give that a few minutes, and then we'll come back and check it in real time. I'm a little bit wary of some slight softness, but I think that's okay. So let's go back and check this whilst the other one is caching. Okay, this one's going to be very mild. Perfect, we don't need to worry about a cache anywhere. Might just be a little bit soft actually. Let's take that down to about 4 and we can take that down. There we go, that's more like it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to save these as shared nodes. I've got one for light NR, and then let's just take a look at this. I'll full screen it. Perfect, that looks excellent. No, that's fine, that's still there. Cool. And I'm going to save this. I'm going to call this one heavy NR. Actually, no, medium NR, and we can do something really heavy later on. So that's cool. So now we've got shared nodes, and we can go and we can easily plonk these on different shots as they are required. So that one is going to need medium noise. Let's just get that. There we go. Okay, I would say just a little bit in the shadows here. So let's make a new node for this. There we go, that's better. Okay, I think I've spotted an issue with a mask down here. Yeah. So what we'll do is we'll just keyframe this and fix that issue. So just a little bit of a blip there. Okay, we've got a hard edge down there. We probably want to try and de-emphasize. Right, let's see if that's any good. No, okay. Let's start again. This will take a few minutes, that's all. And I think what I will also do here is try and get rid of this green quality because it's what's showing it up, so... Oh, what am I doing? I'm hitting the highlight, that's why. There we go. So let's just experiment with the noise reduction we've got here. There we go. That's sorted. Now this looks quite noisy, so we probably want... Oh, what am I doing? There we go. I think that's about as far as we can push that, because we're going to start getting other forms of artifacting introduced by the noise reduction. It's quite a noisy shot, that one. It looks like the compression ratio in the raw was quite low here, or it could possibly be like zoomed in a little bit too far during the edit. We'll have to see. Okay, this one looks mostly good. Let's see if light does the job. Nope, not enough. Okay, that's a little bit aggressive actually, so let's do a custom one. There we go, that's better. So, I'm actually going to change my render cache. I'm just going to put it onto smart. And then it'll just render through, and then by the time we're ready to do some proper reviewing, it'll be ready. So this one needs medium. Excuse me. This needs a bit down here. It's already cached from last time, which don't want to have to recache those two flicker nodes because they took forever. So, this one, however, I only want to hit the grill. Okay, we've got a bit of lag here because it's caching everything else. Just give it a second to catch up. Okay, this isn't working, so... There we go. Tell you what I'll do is towards the end, later on, I'm just going to flip the render cache on, pause and resume the recording when it's cached, then we can watch it through that way. So, better. Now, because we're only doing these kind of shadows down here, we can actually be quite aggressive, and it's not going to hit too much else. There we go, and now it's fixed that horrible chatter we had in the grill, which is fine. I'll tell you what, actually, where's... Render cache. I'm going to just leave it on user, and then I'm just going to render cache all of these clips. Excuse me. Okay, that'll take a while to cache, but that's fine. We'll work on something else. Right. What am I doing? Okay. Ish. Let's go down. Okay, that still needs more. This looks like it's been zoomed in to me. Oh, also, let's actually connect up that node, see what it does. Okay, cool. That looks good. Okay, that only needs light noise reduction. So I will render cache the color outputs of these nodes, and then I'm going to check and see how this all cuts together. So I'm just going to give that a few minutes whilst it does that, and then we can continue. These skin tones look quite bright and warm. Now that I come back to it, I might just pull a little bit of colour out of these. Calm them down a little. And I'll just give it a few minutes to cache all of that back there. I might just use light there. It doesn't need much. Okay, these actually look alright. These two are okay. Might just need light on the statuette here. Maybe light NR. Okay, I'm going to need medium NR on here. And I'm just going to give that a few minutes to cache, and then what we'll do is we'll check the first part of the edit, see if we're happy. Okay, so that took a few minutes, but we've got it now. So we're going to take a look at the first part of our timeline, and if we're happy, we're then going to give it a green flag and move on. So let's take a look. Okay, I'm really happy with all of that. Now, caveat, I have deactivated the deflicker here for now, because that was making the render cache take a very, very long time indeed. I've got a little bit of a glitch with the render cache display. These numbers are staying red, even though they are cached. We can see the blue line down there. If you want to see the blue line, go up to Workspace and reset UI layout, and then you will see your timeline with little thumbnails down here as well. Or if you want to see it again, you can just hit this button, timeline, up there, and that will toggle it off and on. So we're going to continue. I am happy with all of that, with the one exception of this shot, which looks like it could use a bit of stronger noise reduction. So I am going to do a custom NR node here. That can be quite heavy here because it's kind of a bloomy one. I don't want that weird artifacting over there, so I'm going to leave it at 15. Cool. So now we can go and we can take a look on at this one. And this has medium noise reduction. Sorry, I've been talking straight for the last few days recording this, and I've got a sore throat as a result. Okay, one of the perils of long recordings. Right, that looks good. So we're just going to keep continuing. We've got light NR on here, light, and then up to here. So we're then going to render cache all of this because it shouldn't take too long. And it can help if we just play things through once, a bit like in After Effects, like RAM previews in After Effects. So we'll just leave this going through, and then we'll just check all of this, and then we'll slap a big green flag down on that if we're happy, and I think we will be. Oh, excuse me. I'm going to get myself a drink, actually. Right, so we've got all of this cached. Let's just take a look. Okay, that's excellent. So, oh dear. Right, no more coughing all the way through this. So, this is all good. This is all final pass. So we're going to go and say green flag, and then we're going to keep moving on. So, these should not have flags on them. Looking at this, I'm probably going to need medium noise reduction, so... Now, if we're using beauty and also noise reduction on the same shot, we do have to be careful, and we typically have to drop our beauty effect down a little bit to compensate, because noise reduction does the same kind of smoothing, same kind of detail removal kind of effect, so we just need to be careful that they don't kind of stack on top of each other and go crazy. So I do have to drop my beauty effects down a little bit when I'm using noise reduction. And I'm going to take the sharpening out of the eyes because it's not doing anything. Well, it's not doing anything is incorrect. It's making an artifact. So I'm going to take the sharpening out completely. There you go. I would prefer a little bit of sharpening in the eyes, but the kind of noisy thing they introduced just isn't worth it, so we'll leave that there. Yeah, again, look at this kind of weird dancing effect in the eyes. That's no good. Also, this one needs quite a lot of NR, so we'll go medium. Nope, wrong one. This is when I should label my compound nodes. Oh, it's in there, sorry, just not paying attention. And get rid of any and all eye sharpening. That's much better. Okay, let's take a look at this one. I already don't like this shot. Okay, so these are alright. This I think needs only light NR. And I'm going to add these three to the cache queue. Render cache color output. These are fine. These three here might need light. So let's go back and check these now. Okay, that's a big improvement. Okay. I can't remember, did I put light or... it was light noise reduction on there. We'll add that one into the cache output as well. The render cache queue, I should say. Okay, right, I'll just give that a second, and then we'll check it all through once it's cached and see what we think. So this isn't taking too long, we're not really changing much, we're going through. If there's anything that kind of stands out, we can fix it. But mostly it's just making sure that noise reduction is okay and that everything looks quite nice and clean. It's odd when I'm working with, yeah, SQ, that's why we have so much noise. I've worked with F55 footage a few times before, never had noise issues with it, just haven't. And then on this occasion, that one's alright. But then we have some noise back here, it's just a bit odd. I suspect there's kind of a low compression ratio. I say a high compression ratio that has been used. That looks great. That's good. Okay, light clearly enough for that. We'll just give that medium noise reduction and check. I'm happy with those. I'm going to put light noise reduction on this one. Then we can let the other two cache. And then move on to this shot. So I'll just give that a minute to cache and then we'll check it again. Okay, right, let's just check this through. That's much better. Okay, cool, so I'm happy with those. Okay, so... okay, light noise reduction will be okay there. Light will be okay here. I think medium here. He still looks a little bit pink to me. There we go. And then we'll put medium NR on here. Cool. I'll cache those. That's fine. Give that a second to cache. Put Perfect. Just let these shots cache out. And then let's take a look. So where are we gone? Okay, I would say that this one probably benefits more from medium than light. There we go. I don't know, something about him still bugs me, actually. There we go. Okay, these would need light noise reduction. That's fine. That looks great. That maybe just needs a bit of light noise reduction, but nothing serious, otherwise looks good. That could do with a bit of light noise reduction as well. Right, let's just go back and watch from here, see that we're okay. Okay, all of that's alright, except for this one looks a little bit magenta in the highlights, so let's just fix that. Cool. And this one, I kind of don't like the shadows down here. Okay. Okay, here. You'll notice I'm not doing the node splitter trick, which you can do that should you want to, but I don't really feel it's going to be as effective here. Because it's not subtle NR I'm after, there's some quite obvious noise that I need to deal with. Oh, what just happened then? Okay, have I got a... Oh no, why is that? Have I got a... Okay, I'm gonna have to cheat this one. So I've got an issue here. This keyframe is misbehaving and it's turning everything off if I add noise reduction in a separate node. It doesn't make a great deal of sense, but every now and again this kind of keyframing error can happen. In order to get around this, I'm going to have to place this shot in a group of its own, then apply the noise reduction in the post clip so that it does not interact with whatever's going on with this keyframe. So, add into a new group, post clip. Oh, that's just me hitting the microphone, don't worry. Oh, it still does it. That's aggravating. It's defocus. It's not even in the qualifier. Oh, I see what's happened. There we go. I had accidentally placed a keyframe on the node key here, turning the key input inside out because it receives an alpha channel from something else. That had for some reason interacted with the noise reduction on medium NR up here, and that had caused an error which appeared to turn the qualification off. All I had to do was make sure that I got rid of that accidental keyframe, made sure the key input was inside out, and then we're okay. Things like that happen every now and again. It no longer needs to be in its own group. In fact, that didn't do anything. Cool, so I'm going to add these two to the render cache queue. There we go, that's much better. Okay, for the most part this is good. Third pass didn't take too long on this one, but that's because we did so much work in the second pass. It was a very intensive second pass on this one, but that's just how it is. So you can see the amount of time that's spent on roughly 1 minute of footage. 1 minute 13. For this particular job I had 2 edits like this, and you've got the second edit to work on after this demonstration. So I've turned both of these around in the same day, so it was a pretty intensive day. It was probably about 10 hours of work to turn these 2 around to this standard. So we'll just finish this off, and then you're free to go on to the next project. So that's good. I still don't like these yellow shadow bits down here. Let's see if we can fix these. Still a little bit of green kind of stuff going on as well. Okay, there we go. So this just needs a bit of light noise reduction. And this last one here needs some medium. Okay, that one could use a bit of light noise reduction as well. Right, I'm gonna allow these to cache and then we can check everything. check if there's eye sharpening on here. Nope, good. So only thing that bugged me a bit was just making sure that this secondary up here is as good as it can be. Where is all that blur coming from? Okay, there we go. Okay, it's from clean black and clean white, fair enough. Okay, cool. Right, let's just check the whole thing through and see if we're okay. This is looking pretty good. Okay, only one thing that still bugs me. And that's this shot in here. He just doesn't look right. There we go, that's much better. Cool. Right, so that's this project done. One last thing to remember. I need to go back to this shot and I need to turn both the deflicker nodes back on. Right, and we are now done with this project. So this is how I would turn a real corporate ad around. You've got a second edit now, so now that you've seen this, go ahead and work on the second edit. For that, like I said before, there's no guidance, there's no kind of working alongside me. It is, for all intents and purposes, your kind of final challenge, your final exam for this project. There could possibly be some more content in the future. It depends on me getting clearance from the clients to use it to teach, but for now, this is the end of the practical part of the course. We've got some best practice and some color management, some workflow modules, and then a module on building your own workstation to come. And then we are actually finished. You've gone through the entire course, like from beginner all the way through to advanced professional practice in DaVinci Resolve. And if you've made it this far, because I've been looking at the engagement metrics, very, very well done. There's a lot to go through in this course. And if you've made it to this point, you really have done a great deal. So very, very well done. You should be very proud of yourself. So we're finished with this project now. Go ahead and try the second one, and then click on through to the next lecture once you're ready.